It's a nice day, though.
It is a nice day. Good morning. Good morning. Guys, we're far from home. We are live right now, passing by Seabreeze High School here, way up in Volusia County. And guys, I got a full car right now. We have the superintendent of schools and the commander of the school safety program. Ladies and gentlemen, the superintendent, Carmen, I'm going to get it right. Balgobin.
Balgobin, there you go.
I figured out that you have to say it. You got to say it fast, you know.
You have to say it fast.
You have to say it fast. And then, of course, we have Captain Todd Smith with us. Sir, thank you for joining us there in the back. I even got him a camera, guys. Check it out. Look at it. There he is.
I love
hanging out with us this morning. So, Sue, I am so excited to have you in here.
Thank you for having us. And again, I want to say that this is such a great idea enacted upon this, how you are doing, you know, getting into your communities.
I appreciate that a lot, because this was the goal.
Engaging with your communities. This is absolutely
People
phenomenal.
were like, Steve, you're crazy. You want to actually get these community leaders in the car and just talk? I go, yeah, why not? Right,
well, I tell you what,
why not,
if
right?
you would have invited me to your studio, if that was the case, I'm not sure if I would have been able to
accommodate that,
but
right?
Yes, I'm able to.
I just show up and pick you up.
You showed up at one of our schools.
That's it. So, ma'am, talk to me a little bit about you. You're up on our northern portion of Central Florida here.
Yeah.
You have an incredibly large district.
Yes.
One that is, I personally think, showing up on the news for positive things. You guys are always very proactive.
Yeah.
You guys are putting information out. Talk to me a little bit about you and how you got here in a nutshell. I know we could sit here all day about that.
Oh, we could. It would be a full 30-minute session without pausing. But first and foremost, Steve, thank you for having us. This is probably in history so far one of the coolest interviews that I've had.
I love it.
So let me share with you, I've been in education for 26 years, worked in several districts. I started out actually in Orange County.
Okay.
And, I was a teacher there in Orange County, high school teacher, worked as a principal, a master principal, district administrator, and then went to Osceola. I know you're from
Yes,
Osceola.
you used to work with my old high school principal who became the superintendent.
Pace, yes.
Amazing lady.
Yes, sir. So I was in Osceola County, district administrator there for about 2 years, close to 2 years. And then I had the opportunity of coming here to Volusia County as their deputy sup for teaching, leading, and learning.
That must have been an amazing phone call.
It was a phone call where, I like situations where you have an opportunity to really enact on ideas and make it better. So I saw the opportunity here, right, which was thrilling for me.
Right, of course.
Came by here, served in Volusia County during COVID-19.
I'm sure that must have been a fun welcoming to the district for you.
Oh, well, baptism by fire, because,
right.
I was the deputy for a couple weeks, and then we went into COVID. And then the superintendent had to go out for a little bit due to some health reasons. And I became the superintendent during COVID.
Basically, operational interview
for
kind of
9
thing.
months.
Right.
Right? So you're going to learn everything you need to learn plus some. So that was my training as a superintendent.
So how are you enjoying it?
I also worked in Broward County.
Oh my gosh.
I also work in Broward County for a little bit.
So you've got quite the resume.
And then came back here. Love Volusia County. Love Volusia County. It's a county where there's a lot of heart here. You know what I love about it? You said that it's a large county, but it also feels small.
It does. I love the coastal counties. Why?
Because here we have so many families that have been here and for generations. And they're truly invested in their community. They love their community.
That would got to be an honor, though, as a superintendent that's been around, to come to a history-driven district where you're the superintendent. You have grandparents coming to you that they graduated from some of these schools. That's got to be amazing.
It is amazing. We just concluded our graduation ceremonies. Capt was there with us. And we have 10 traditional high schools. We have our Volusia Online. We did graduations for them as well.
Wow.
And in the audience, our principals were asking the question, how many of you are a graduate from New Smyrna Beach, if you would please stand. And pretty much in some of those cases, half of the audience were standing, and that's pretty incredible.
That is cool.
Yeah.
How big is the district?
So we have 76 schools in our district.
Okay.
We have currently about 74,000 students.
Small little city.
It's a small little city, and we're so spread out.
I don't think people realize
16 municipalities.
Because even with just the shape of the county, you guys are just like out there.
Out there. So you've got, listen, you go to east and west, you can pretty much divide it in half and say, we need 2 superintendents.
Right.
Because, again, so spread out, diverse, and it has that home element to it.
So with all that, you still have to keep the school district safe. And I am rather surprised by something, and I don't know if the fact that, like, this is one of the first times I've seen it, where your head person over safety and security for the schools is a sheriff's office commander.
So this
is kind of cool. We're talking about him like he's not sitting back here.
Yeah, he is listening to everything we're saying.
We will get to him in just a second. Yes.
Steve.
Very special.
It is special. It's a unique model. We created this model, I believe, in 2022, right, Captain?
Yep.
2022, and I will tell you, it came from a shared passion because our sheriff, we have a great relationship.
Sheriff Chitwood, come on.
Oh.
Got one of the best in the state.
We do. You know what? He's a no-nonsense, safety first.
But fair.
Fair. And I will tell you that that's my belief as well. I believe as a superintendent that every student and every staff, and when I say every student, I mean every student.
Right.
And every staff deserves and has the right. That's a powerful statement there.
It is.
But they have the right to feel safe.
Correct.
In their school environment.
I like when you say that because I preach a lot. I don't care where you live. I don't care if you're in a higher end part of a county or a lower end part of the county. You deserve the right to walk outside of your home and walk down the street and be safe. And if that is not the problem, then that needs to be addressed. I don't care where you live. If there's a high crime, what's considered high, you should be able to stand in front of your house and feel safe. And the same thing applies here. And I love hearing that because I think sometimes they're like, well, it's that school or that school has problems. No. Wherever you're at, no student should have to be disrupted.
Correct.
Or even better, no staff member should have to come to work.
Correct.
And feel unsafe. And that's why you've got the captain here.
Correct.
I love it.
So we enacted on the model in 2022.
Okay.
And pretty much restructured how we do work here in Volusia County when it comes to safety and security. Based on that philosophy that we share along with our sheriff's office and other municipalities.
Okay.
Right? So it all started with the shared belief. And we said a belief in itself means absolutely nothing unless you enact on that belief.
Gotta have action.
Unless you put those systems, structures, and we are, when it comes to being proactive, I don't believe in just reacting to things. I believe that if you have been seeing or observing certain trends, or you can anticipate, you have the ability to be proactive in what you do.
Love it.
So in our model here, you will hear our our captain will share with you lots of proactive structures and systems that we have in place that we enact on a daily basis, pretty much.
It's really nice to hear it. Captain, talk to me a little bit. You're with the sheriff's office. How long have you been with the sheriff's office?
23 years.
23 years. And now how long in charge of the schools?
2.5.
2.5. When you joined the Volusia Sheriff's Office, did you ever think you'd want to get to the schools?
It was not even an option at the time because of this new vision.
So talk to me a little bit. What are we doing here that you are proud of, things that you're working on? What is unique about Volusia?
So we're very unique. So if you look at how Marjorie Stoneman Douglas played out, they didn't have consolidated dispatch. So when people called 911, it went to different locations. We have that in Volusia County. We're very fortunate on that aspect.
And if just describe that real quick. What is the importance of that? I know that because the average person's like, well, when I call 911, someone answers. But what you guys do is saving time.
Right. So it basically goes to the dispatch does the whole county. So if you have an emergency and you call 911, you get a centralized dispatch that can then get the call out to the right people immediately, instead of having to transfer the call and then wait for it to be picked up by somebody else and figure out how to deal with it.
For someone watching, what would you say Volusia's saving time with this type of program?
Oh, it's significant. Probably a minute and a half.
And in your world, that's life and death.
That's life. You know, the average active shooter lasts less than 5 minutes, so every second counts.
When it comes to how you guys are staffing schools, talk to me a little bit about that.
So we have a safe school officer in every single school, at least one,
Okay.
either an SRO, an SRD, or a guardian, and they're specially trained on how to deal with any kind of threat that comes up. And we ensure that on top of that, we also train them on de-escalation. So in any other circumstance other than an active threat, we de-escalate and we deal with it differently.
So you're not only putting individuals, I'm going to call them heroes, into schools to make sure kids are safe for a deadly situation. If they're present, they can possibly de-escalate an argument.
Absolutely, and they do all the time. We ask them to regularly, de-escalate and try to let the school staff handle it if it's a school incident, and if it's a law enforcement incident, then they get involved.
Oh man, this is kind of cool. How are you enjoying it? Talk to me about your numbers and what you're ultimately responsible for.
So, I'm over the safety and security for all of Volusia County schools,
Okay.
and then I'm also over the youth services section. So, just prior to this starting, the sheriff had a vision of creating the Volusia Family Resource Center.
Okay.
And basically, that's a center where you can come in the front door and get resources that you need, whether it's to meet with the schools. They have a staff member there, DJJ, SendFins, Hope Florida, the sheriff's office. All the partners are in one spot. So if a parent needs help, they can just come in. And then obviously in the back door is where juveniles that get arrested or get a civil citation or are in some kind of trouble come in. So they can get the same resources either through the front door voluntarily, or we get them the help that they need when they come in the back door.
I excuse my hesitation. What I'm realizing between the two of you, you guys have really cut a lot of red tape.
Oh, yeah.
To where you have almost immediate access to resources.
Correct.
It's not, okay, go here, then I talk to this person, and then they refer me to somewhere else.
No.
It's a one-stop shop with you guys. I'm really impressed, and I really appreciate you guys really chatting with me about this stuff. Not many people would be willing to do this. Summer upon us.
Yes.
Obviously, school's out. You guys are still working.
We are.
You guys don't stop.
Never.
What is happening during the summertime?
Yeah.
During the school, what are you guys prepping for? What's law enforcement prepping for? What, you guys just don't stop and go home, obviously.
No. I actually, you know what? The school year, not even I don't even want to say even the school year, but the entire year, it's different seasons of being busy in different areas.
Okay.
So we actually started yesterday, I believe. Yeah, it was yesterday, Captain, with our administrative institute.
So what's that?
Every single administrator in our district, they're being trained for 3 full days.
Okay.
And basically, these are trainings based on our data needs. We would, observational data, numeric data. We look at it. We look at our strategic plan for the district. We look at our school improvement plans, and we determine what are some needs that we need for the upcoming school year. So we design all these trainings, and we ensure that our administrators have access to these trainings 3 full days of institute. Then as soon as we conclude that, we begin our Volusia Learns, and that is for all instructional staff now.
Okay.
They're being trained up on new legislation that's going to be, coming forward.
So the learning doesn't stop for the staff.
Never.
Whether it's administrative
it's
or
ongoing.
For you guys, I think a lot of people think, oh man, the SROs must have, or SRDs, must have the best schedule in the world. They get the whole summer off. Wrong.
Completely wrong.
Right.
Wrong.
Talk to me about that.
So we read the FBI's active shooter analysis that came out, and based on that, we then developed through the school resource deputy unit the open air response to active threats training, and our SRDs are going to train all of the patrol deputies in the entire agency on that exact training. So our doors are shut and locked, our gates are shut and locked. So now a threat's going to be an open air. So they will have the best cutting edge training that there is out there, and they're going to train the entire agency, so they don't do it just once. They do it dozens and dozens of times so that they know exactly how to act in any kind of an incident.
You guys would have thought that I wrote all these questions down and sent them over to you guys. You guys are so prepared. I'm so blown away right now. So it's not just SRD that's focused on schools, it's the entire sheriff's office. And just because you're not an SRD, just because you might not want to be an SRD, you're still going to get trained up on the response to these schools. Oh,
absolutely. We have the sheriff's full support. He gives us all the tools that we need to get the job done.
Absolutely.
How big is the SRD program?
It's grown quite a bit.
Okay.
So as over time, it's like taking in kids. The more people that you can get on your team, the better off you are. So we've really been trying to integrate all the different municipalities. They help us immensely. They're huge supporters.
That was going to be my follow-up question. Is like, when it comes to the municipalities that are in the cities, are you ultimately supervising those officers as well? You're a liaison. So if there's a problem, though, they're talking to you. They're not calling their chief kind of thing, because technically
we all
it's
work
a school
together.
I'm making sense here. Got it.
You want to share a little bit how we have looked at the contract for every municipality, and it's fully...
Yes, so all of
to make sure it's in compliance.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we're all of the chiefs have agreed to staff all of the schools in their cities. They've been awesome with that. We're all working together to make sure that we have the same training. All of our SROs and SRDs get CIT training, de-escalation training, ADA training. That way that we don't have any mistakes with students with disabilities. Making sure that everybody's on the same page how to deal with these threats, because we had many threats, close to 900 fortified Florida tips this year.
Wow.
The sheriff's creating a behavioral threat unit this year to help investigate those threats.
I just want to pause you for a second, because I want people to take a second and think about everything they just heard, and then at the same time how fast we are to criticize the job that you guys are doing. Mm-hmm. You just recited probably 20 different things that are not in law enforcement job description, and this is what you guys are prepping for on a daily. This is the pressure you guys are under, and yet you're still showing up to do it. Yeah. And you guys seem pretty excited about it. Summer's coming. Or it's here. What am I talking about? The truck's reading 85 degrees.
Yeah.
What?
Summer was here 2 months ago, Steve.
Wait, we got that first front. I was like, oh.
I know.
For both of you, going into the summer, what are some of your concerns that you see that you tend to almost get a little worried about during the summer season?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily a concern, but now we need to make sure that we have summer school also taking place. We have a June session and we have a July session. So obviously we want to make sure that our students, they're showing up every day. Attendance matters, as we know, and that they're receiving those remediations or acceleration, depending on the course that they're taking.
Would you almost say then it's like, if you're a student, listen, don't check out on us during the summer.
Don't check out. No, because the reason why we have these summer school programs, it's either to accelerate or to remediate. Right? And every student, they fall into either of those categories.
Right. It's one or the other.
It's one or the others. And when it comes to learning is a fluid process. So you're always looking at, and also when it comes to learning, you're looking at developmentally, third graders, they're going to be going to fourth grade. What are some skill sets that they have not necessarily mastered yet, but they need to have it in place before they get to fourth grade?
I like your approach on that.
Right?
I like your perspective.
Let's talk about acceleration. If you're a student that's accelerated, I shouldn't hold you back. I should give you the opportunity to continue to be accelerated. So in the summer, we're working with them. Again, we have a June session, we have a July session. So in not only are we working with our students, but we need to make sure that they're successful throughout the summer. And I know that our captain also is preparing for all of the trainings that we're going to, as we welcome our administrators back and our students, to make sure that during that pre-planning, that everybody is ready for the upcoming school year. So we do quite a bit of that right now, Steve. So we meet with the schools, we work with their school improvement plans for next year. We make sure the materials are ordered for next year for our students. It keeps going and it never stops. So I know that I've been asked several times, well, Dr. B, what do you guys even do in the summer when students are out?
You need to watch this stream, because They are busy. It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
And especially, I think there is a common like misconception. Just like when cops are off duty, they're like, oh, they're off, they're not doing anything. It's like, you're a teacher, you're an educator.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And when it does stop, it's like, for you guys, that's retirement. That's like,
that's exactly.
But it's always a learning process. Captain, what as a law enforcement officer could you put out to parents that you see during the summertime that tend to maybe get some kids in trouble, that easily preventable, but things that you see that it's like, just talk to your kids about this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, obviously knowing what your kids are doing is very important during the summer, and then preparing them for the next school year. So sometimes, we've noticed that the first few weeks of school are sometimes bumpy because the kids have gotten out of their routines, and trying to ensure that they're back in their routines, they're ready to learn, they know what the rules are, and they know that they're not allowed to break the rules. So that, obviously we don't want Sheriff Chitwood getting involved.
Of course. What are some of the critical rules that you guys want to put out here in the Volusia District?
Do not bring weapons on our campus.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Number one, absolutely. That is not the place. Our campuses are for learning. Like the superintendent said many times, every minute of instruction is critical. And the curriculum is built on minutes of instruction. So we need to make sure that the kids get those minutes of instruction.
Okay, so no weapons at all. What's the cell phone rule for the district?
I was just going to say that to you. Cell phones, when it comes to cell phones, it should not be out during instructional time. And cell phones, really, if you think about it, Steve, it's not to create distraction to learning, right? It's for emergency use only.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that our students, and obviously we're working currently on updating our code of conduct.
Okay.
And we're going to be sending that out to all of our parents pretty soon. But ensuring that cell phone, when it comes to cell phone, they have to be secured.
Okay.
Right.
So you're not just walking around with it.
No.
It's there, concealed. If
Yeah.
something happened,
Correct.
you can use it.
Correct. That's it.
That's
it's
it.
for safety. When you come to school,
Instagram's not an emergency.
Exactly. And when you come to school, right? It's about ensuring you're coming to school for a purpose. The purpose is to feed your mind and to ensure that intellectually you're leaving, right, with information that or knowledge that you didn't come in with. It's continuous growth. So let's be reminded of that. That's the purpose of schooling.
Right.
And we're going to do our part, but we need everyone to do their part as well, including our students.
I appreciate you guys so much. I know you have a very busy schedule. I know you have an event this evening, so that's why we're able to pull this
off
off
school board
today.
Meeting.
Yes, and school board meeting in summer. So look at that.
Summer,
Superintendent, I want to thank you. Captain, I want to thank you for taking some time with me. And to both of you, it's very obvious you two are working in step with each other. It's not I live in a very unique position to where people don't mind talking with me and, who's this cop news guy? And I get to see things from a different perspective. And not every executive of an organization understands the importance of safety or the realism of it.
Yes.
It's fun to say, we've got safe stuff, but on the flip side, to have a guy that knows this is the equipment we need, this is the policies, this is the actions that we have to take. And sometimes it's not nice to hear, but it's reality.
And Steve, I'll tell you, Captain is part of our cabinet. So he is a member of my cabinet.
Really?
Yes.
Guys, they've got it figured out here. I'm highly impressed. I appreciate you guys. Guys, if you want to know more about Volusia Schools, obviously they have an amazing website, but they're very active on social media. They've got all the different platforms. And if you're interested, follow them. This will live on YouTube, clickorlando.com. But just because the bell has stopped ringing for summertime doesn't mean that they're not out here doing their thing. Safety still applies. So big rule, never bring any weapons on school. Keep your phones away. We got a fan outside the truck waving at us over there. Look at her waving. And of course, there's only one main reason that they're here, is to make sure that the students succeed and they're safe, and the staff, same thing. So, ma'am, thank you
for
so
having
much.
us. Thank you, Steve.
I got to show off, guys.
Yes,
guys,
please.
I got. You guys know I'm a coin guy. I got to show this off real quick. So this is the Volusia Sheriff's Office school resource coin. Look at that thing. This thing is fancy. It's a
nice
shield
thing, huh?
there. And then, look at that. This might be the most unique one
Wow.
I've seen.
A
little cap,
cap.
a little cap
Yeah,
from the
graduation
superintendent.
cap.
So I heard these are very rare.
They are.
So my first 100 of the Trooper Steve coin are in the mail right now. And I will have to make a special visit to Volusia to make sure you two get one. So
We love that.
I
we
appreciate
can't wait
this
to
so
see
much.
you again.
So guys, want to thank them. We want to thank you guys. Keep it safe, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.